You're listening to a very special podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at verypodcast. And don't forget to check out our website, averyspecialpodcast.com.
Tuesday, you'll soon be mad about Tuesday.
That's right, Mad About You's moving to Tuesdays on NBC. Post-Olympics, baby. Hey, parrots, give me a peck.
We're peacocks!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn, and you probably remember me from the previous 63 episodes, and I'm joined here, as always, by Kat Halstead, the author.
Hello, what's up?
And we haven't pimped our website lately, so definitely go to it. It's a veryspecialpodcast.com, and Twitter is at verypodcast.
Yes, that is correct.
And Pinterest? Do we have a Pinterest?
Oh, we do have a Pinterest. It's not really like a Pinterest account, though. It's like shared board.
Okay. I saw an article today and it said why podcasters should use Pinterest. I did not read the article, but I was like, oh, maybe I should read that later. Yeah,
you should, like, send that to me. That sounds actually like something I might write for work, though.
You probably did write it. And it's a bullshit article.
No, the articles I've written lately are about home organization.
All right, so we are in our Thanksgiving Day episode, our second Thanksgiving Day episode of the season.
Yes, we decided to do double the fun this year.
Double the fun, because we get to the end of the year and we pretty much turn into a holiday machine.
We go overboard.
We are thinking of things to do, and we are just like, you know what, we have to wait till January because our minds are on the holidays right now.
We go insane for Halloween. We try to calm it down right before Thanksgiving, but we can't help ourselves. And then we know we're going to go overboard for Christmas.
Yeah, because we originally planned to do the episode that we are going to do tonight, but then we found out that Saved by the Bell, The College Years, was on Hulu, in which they had a Thanksgiving Day episode, so we had to pretty much just squeeze that in.
Yeah, you can't resist the Saved by the Bell.
No, and that episode was a big hit. It was a disaster and a hit.
I think that's what we call a hot mess.
Yes, well, the final product came out beautiful, but it was an editing nightmare. I pretty much did not sleep for 3 days putting that thing together.
Yes, well, that's what happens when you drink 5 glasses of wine during a podcast.
It was 4, but 4 really big ones.
It's probably more like 6.
Actually, it was like 2 bottles of wine. Let's just get at that.
The truth.
All right, so what are we doing tonight?
Tonight we are doing the 90s classic sitcom starring Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt, Mad About You.
Yes, this was the series. It was on NBC from 1992 to 1999, and it took place in New York City.
As did most of their sitcoms of that era. If you really look back, almost all of them took place in New York City.
Yeah, and didn't they have a weird crossover thing one night where every New York City themed episode took like a crossover, like Mad About You crossover with Friends?
Yeah, they, like, the single guy got Ross from Friends, which, seriously, if anybody has a copy of that episode and they wouldn't mind sharing it with us in some form, let us know, because I am dying to rewatch that episode. I don't know why.
We've been talking about the single guy a lot lately.
Yeah, he keeps coming up. We got to track down some episodes.
Yeah, so shout out to the single guy.
Who was it? Jonathan Silverman?
Jonathan Silverman, if you are listening to this, you're probably not, but if you are, give us a ring. All right, so the episode tonight that we are doing is Giblets for Murray.
It is, of course, a Thanksgiving-themed episode, and it's season 3.
Episode 8.
Originally aired November 17th, 1994.
All right, and here comes our fun part, where we get to go over what was on that night.
Yay, I love this part.
You're going to like this one. So on ABC, Jared Leto and Claire Danes in the classic drama, My So-Called Life.
What? Jared Leto shout out. We haven't had one of those in a long time.
Speaking of restraining orders, we need to get him back in the fold.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of like went out of flavor for a while.
He hasn't really been in the news too much lately. He is not upset with a role or something that he's done.
Well, to be fair, when we started our obsession with him, we had no clue he was about to like sweep award season.
Yeah, and did we even talk about his cologne commercial?
Wait, what?
Remember he was in that cologne commercial a month or two back? And he was like chilling in a bathtub, half naked.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly slicked back hair.
Yeah, now I remember.
And on CBS, also at the 8 o'clock time slot, because this Mad About You was an 8 p.m. show, was Due South, which was a Canadian import.
Yes. Okay, I have my friend Joe was like talking to me about this show a few months ago, like explaining the whole thing to me, and I was like, I don't understand.
It sounds really fun because this is a crime series about a Canadian Mountie who moves to Chicago to solve the murder of his father, but elements of comedy are added into it.
Yeah, so it sounds like a buddy like crime drama.
Yeah, or a live action Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah.
I remember the name. I don't really remember anything specific because it was on CBS, and anything on CBS pretty much did not exist.
CBS was definitely the Murder, She Wrote crowd, and that was it.
Diagnosis Murder.
Which we totally need to do an episode of.
Oh yeah, we're working our way towards it. We can only handle so much elderly series at once.
This from the guy who's always like, can we not do a show about teenagers?
Well, we have to shuffle it up.
Well, yeah, it wasn't like we were purposely going, oh, we have to do all these shows with teenagers. They just happened to be what came up in our youth.
All right, so on Fox, what do you think was on Fox this night? I think it was a Thursday night. It was 8 p.m.
It was The Simpsons, wasn't it?
No, I think they had already moved to Sundays at this point. Instead, it was Martin.
Oh, okay.
Which I always thought was on later for some reason, but then I realized Living Single was on after it, so Living Single is definitely a follow Martin type show.
But Living Single is the superior show.
It is. Also on this night on CBS was the final installment of a miniseries.
Okay.
4-part miniseries. Do you have any guesses?
I have no idea.
It's a sequel to a classic movie. I think Annabeth Gish is in it.
Wait, Scarlet?
You are correct.
It was? It was Scarlet? Oh.
Did well, apparently.
I remember watching that. Or at least one night of it and being really confused because I had just gotten into Gone with the Wind. Like, I was obsessed with Gone with the Wind thanks to Shannon Doherty playing Margaret Mitchell in a TV movie.
Shout out to Shannon Doherty.
So, I got, like, obsessed with everything. I became obsessed with Margaret Mitchell. I became obsessed with Gone with the Wind. And it's one of my top 3 favorite movies.
Right, podcast confession. I have never seen Gone with the Wind.
It is perfect for when you have the flu and you're stuck in bed and you don't want to change the channel for, like, 6 hours.
Great, because I did not get my flu shot this year, despite working at a hospital, so maybe I will get the flu in a couple of weeks, and I can just chill in bed and watch Gone with the Wind.
Even I got my flu shot.
Well, I can get free ones at the hospital, but I had to drive there my day off, and I was like, I ain't fucking going there, fuck that.
Dork.
Alright, so shall I read the TV Guide summary, and then we can decide if this was an accurate depiction of the episode?
Yes, please read the TV Guide summary.
Alright, so TV Guide is known for its wacky summaries of episodes. So sometimes they are on point, and other times they are really confusing, and sometimes they're really bitter. So what TV Guide, what their summary had to say about Giblets from Marty was, when she invites 10 for Thanksgiving, Jamie's goose is cooked until a grocer comes to the rescue.
That's so off.
Reading that, I'd be like really excited because I'm like, wow, a grocer is going to come to the rescue and save Thanksgiving?
Yeah, like the grocer's going to show up with the turkey or something? That's totally not what happened.
I would have just wrote, the Buchman's Thanksgiving is a fucking nightmare. That's it, period.
This is the Thanksgiving you are going to have yourselves this year. That is the best description.
Yeah, so basically this is the first time that Jamie and Paul, is that his name?
Yes, Paul.
Jamie and Paul are hosting Thanksgiving. They've only been married for like 2 years at this point, right?
Yeah, they've been married like 3 or 4 years. But you know, you have to do the whole in-law thing. Like, there's a Thanksgiving episode in season 1 where they go up to Jamie's parents' house for Thanksgiving. It takes place all on the train, so you get to see them before, when they're going up, and when they're coming back. And so you have to do that switch off with the in-laws kind of thing.
So you don't actually see the Thanksgiving, you just hear about it?
No, you see the travel to and from.
That's a really clever writing technique. I haven't seen Mad About You in a real long time. Are they known for bottle episodes like that?
They do a few. There's like an episode where it all takes place in the bathroom because Jamie and Paul get locked in the bathroom.
Okay, because this one definitely seems like a bottle episode because they were trapped in the living room, except for when they had to run down to the bodega that was underneath them, which is really cool. Can we talk about that they live above a small grocery store?
I feel like that's sort of like a thing in New York City, though. Or if maybe it wasn't like right above them or like right below them, but it was on their block.
It was definitely easy to get to.
Like, it's the place they go to the most because it's right there. You get off the subway and you, like, stop in the grocer and then you go home.
You could be there and back in just enough time for everyone to go around the room to say what they were thankful for. That's how close they were to this place.
Yeah.
They kept calling it a grocery store, but it was really like a small deli / is bodega? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Convenience store, bodega.
This is definitely a step up from a convenience store. Because convenience stores, I think of old hot dog meat and Slurpees. But this place definitely sold fully cooked turkeys.
Yeah, that they did. But you know what? Okay, so when I lived in Minnesota, the convenience stores were basically like little mini grocery stores.
So you can buy all the necessities?
Yeah, you could buy like pretty much anything you needed at the Quick Trip.
The Quick Trip.
KWIK.
Of course. Have you ever lived above a convenience store or a liquor store?
No, I have not. I've lived across the street from a liquor store.
I never have, but my friends Hillary and John, when they lived in their shitty apartment, it was right above a liquor store, which, in the grand scheme of things, it's the greatest thing that could possibly happen because when you run out of booze and you still want to party, you just run downstairs.
It's right there.
Shout out to Hillary and John. You're probably not hearing this. You're probably in the sky.
Probably in the sky.
She's a flight attendant.
I was like, this was getting really dark and morbid. So yeah, like the shop is just like within a block.
It's very close. They go there a bunch of times, as we'll get to in a moment. But there are a few other things that I wanted to bring up about Mad About You that are pretty wild. Did you know that Terry Hatcher was almost Jamie Buchman?
What? No. No. Lois Lane was almost Jamie Buchman.
The role of Jamie Buchman apparently came down to two people, Terry Hatcher and Helen Hunt.
Wow.
And Helen Hunt won out when she brilliantly imitated Reiser trying to decide what to eat.
The I know exactly what scene that is.
I think it's in the pilot, right?
Yeah, it is.
And then Terry Hatcher, it's not like we never heard from her again. She went on to play Lois Lane in Lois and Clark.
Yes, and then she did Desperate Housewives, and now she's on The Odd Couple.
She is on The Odd Couple, which is a Danny Jacobson show who also helped co-create Mad About You.
Synergy!
So apparently Danny Jacobson did not forget about you, Terry Hatcher.
Yeah.
They were really nervous about adding a baby to the show because they always believed that a baby meant the series was over.
Well, it's kind of like that last-ditch effort to bring life and new story into a series, to add the baby. And you always know the baby's going to show up. The baby's eventually going to show up for a couple.
Yeah, especially if you have a newly married couple. And the first couple of years of the show kind of focuses on the dawn of their marriage. And at some point, Helen Hunt is going to decide she does not want to take birth control any longer. And she's going to have a baby.
Was she actually pregnant during that story?
When I said Helen Hunt, I meant Jamie Buchman.
Oh. I was like, I don't think that's when Helen Hunt had a kid.
Did she have a kid? I'm sure she has had a kid.
Yeah, she had a child.
Can we talk about my weird obsession with Helen Hunt?
Yeah, let's discuss your weird obsession with Helen Hunt.
So, if you follow me on Instagram, at Patrick M. Dunn, every so often I will just post pics of Helen Hunt for no reason at all.
That's true, you will.
With the caption, Helen Huntin'.
You're such a dork.
She's amazing. How can you not like Helen Hunt?
I mean, I love Helen Hunt. I will watch pretty much anything she does.
Oh yeah, and she doesn't even do that much, which I think is what makes her special. because when she does decide to make an appearance in something, you know it's been worth the wait.
Okay, I will say this. If Helen Hunt does another TV show, I'm going to lose my shit and be like, yes! I don't care how good or bad this show is, I'm watching.
She is in post-production on something right now, because I was just kind of browsing through her IMDb page before we did this recording.
Well, I know she directed an episode of This Is Us.
Yes, because she was excited to work with Mandy Moore.
Yeah, I think I told you, because This Is Us is like my new TV obsession. Move over, Girl Meets World. This Is Us is stealing my heart.
All right, so the series that Helen Hunt is working on right now, which I know nothing about because it's just a post-production link on IMDb, it's something called Shots Fired.
Okay.
Oh, there's a description. A media storm sets off when an African-American cop kills a white teenager in a small North Carolina town.
Ooh.
Scrolling through the cast list, and I recognize none of those names. So I guess we'll find out about this. But I will definitely watch it because, it's currently filming in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is not too far from me. So maybe I will bump into Helen Hunt.
Yeah. Before or after you meet James Lafferty.
Yes. Shout out to James Lafferty, who will be at a bar next week in Wilmington, North Carolina for a charity event for the hurricane.
Yeah.
So maybe Helen Hunt will decide to take a trip down to Myrtle Beach to just get away from the hustle and bustle of
Filming.
Maybe I'll bump into her at Food Lion.
Food Lion?
It's the local grocery store.
Oh.
Which I always call Lion King by accident.
We have like a Safeway, Walmart, King Soopers.
Alright, so let's get into one last fun fact, and this is kind of related to the episode because it involves the dog, Murray, who was played by, obviously, a real dog named Maui.
Yes.
A collie mix, and they found him in an animal shelter, and a Hollywood animal trainer found him and adopted him and trained him to be an actor. But there's more.
There's more?
Have you ever seen the movie Bingo?
I might have, like, way back in the day.
It was an early 90s movie. It basically was about a weird kid and a dog. Maui did not play Bingo, but he was the understudy for Bingo, just in case Bingo got hurt or sick.
The understudy.
Even animals have understudies.
That I did not know. They leave that out of the information they give you when you go to those, like, Universal Studios things.
What was the dog in Frasier's name? Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie.
Do you think Eddie had an understudy?
You know, maybe not for, like, TV work. Maybe they just, like, write the dog out.
What if Eddie got sick one day? You know, maybe he had too much kibbles?
And then he, like, went and puked on Kelsey Grammer's loafers.
Yeah, and so they just needed another dog just to sit in the corner of the scene, so they just grabbed. Yeah, I guess it's possible. Maybe it's a world we will have to examine. We'll have to do an investigative report on this.
That can be our new obsession after Backlots.
We'll do a two-parter episode. We'll do one on backlots, Hollywood backlots, and another on the understudies of animal actors.
Sounds fascinating.
But Maui, the dog, was twice voted the most popular dog by the readers of TV Guide.
Woo! Go readers of TV Guide in the 90s.
When TV Guide was a reputable publication.
When it was actually, like, TV Guide and not the trash that it is now.
Yeah, now it's basically National Enquirer Light.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so should we get into this episode, or do you have any other amazing things to unleash?
Yes. Okay, so it's Thanksgiving, and we start on a dark apartment. The alarm glows off with, like, the talk radio guy talking about the weather. They slam it off. They don't talk. Paul and Jamie, they don't talk. They just get up out of bed. They walk through the apartment into the kitchen. They turn the lights on. They get the turkey out of the fridge. They put the turkey in the oven, and then they go back to bed.
Do you know what was hilarious about this scene?
What?
Their alarm woke them up. They perfectly timed their alarm with the talk radio show, and it just happened to say that it was 5:45 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. It was just perfect timing, I guess.
Yeah, it's the magic of television.
Would a talk radio segment wake you up, or do you need a shrieking alarm sound?
Yeah, I just use the alarm on my phone, and it's like a kind of sound.
Yeah, you need a noise that will interrupt you, not morning radio telling you that it's Thanksgiving morning at 5:45 a.m.
Okay, so here's the thing. They're trying to get ready for this Thanksgiving. You know, they're getting the foods ready, And, they're trying to consolidate the two families' traditions, but also do their own, because Jamie wants to do her own thing.
And this is going to blow up because each of their parents, they're old, they're set in their ways, they don't want to change anything, they all have their own quirks, they all have their ways that they know Thanksgiving, and they don't want to budge. Old people don't like change.
They really don't.
They like cranberry sauce in a can. They like the decorations to be set up a certain way. They don't like buffet style.
No, they really do not like the buffet style, which... honestly, I understood why Jamie picked that.
No, and I don't understand why they decided to have Thanksgiving in their apartment, because it's a tiny-ass New York City apartment, and there's 12 people in there.
Yeah, it's like 12 people for Thanksgiving. Where is everybody going to sit? It wasn't set up to host this family meal. Like, when we have family dinners, we have, we might do it a buffet style, but there's still a table to sit at.
The way I assumed it was going to work, so they were going to put the food on the actual dinner table, and then they were going to all break off and go to the couches.
Yeah, they were kind of like a mingle kind of thing, like a mingle in your little groups.
But they do that weird thing they do on TV all the time, where you have 3 people sitting on the couch, and then you have 3 other people that just stand behind the couch.
Yeah.
And the couch is never up against a wall. It's just in the middle of a room. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing some people were going to be eating and standing.
Like, I understand her thought because of how big the table is.
Do you think they would have gone into the bedroom and eaten on the bed?
Well, as you'll see later on in the episode, there's the whole, oh, you're redoing the bedroom. The moms go in and rearrange the entire bedroom.
Dinner plans layout aside, they still decide that they're going to try to put this whole Thanksgiving thing together, but Jamie's freaking out because there's things she has forgotten about.
Or that she didn't think would be a big deal, but her family and Paul's family make it a big deal. Well, first there's the ice.
So, Paul has been, for the last 2 weeks, he has been up day and night. I'm guessing they're using ice cube trays.
Yes, I'm guessing it's ice cube trays. It's like 1994. It doesn't look like there's an ice cube maker on their fridge.
I'm sure there was ice cube makers at that point in time, but that was probably an extreme luxury. That was like a...
Yeah, you're not getting that in your New York apartment.
No, you're already paying a shit ton of money to live in a tiny-ass New York City apartment. You can't afford a Frigidaire that has an ice cube maker. So instead, you gotta get up every 5 or 6 hours, remove the ice from the ice cube tray, start a fresh batch, and just go on this continuous cycle. So Paul's been doing this endlessly for the last 2 weeks. He's getting it perfectly for Thanksgiving. But Jamie needs the space. She needs to put stuff in the freezer. And the ice is just taken to a space, so she fucking tosses it. She tosses the ice.
She tosses all the ice.
And now Paul has to go down to the bodega below or around the corner and buy ice.
Okay, legitimately, this happened to me one time where I was like, I've been making ice for like a week for like some party my ex wanted to host. Because we didn't have an ice maker, we just had the ice trays. So I was like making ice specifically for this event. And he's like, no, I threw out all the ice. I was like, I'm up day and night making the ice.
Yeah, ice is stressful. If you have to manually make ice, it is stressful because I have an ice maker, but it broke over the summer. So there was a 2-week period where I had to either make ice or go buy ice. And I was not fucking making ice, so I just went and bought ice.
Yeah. See, we have like up in our kitchen, we have like the ice maker in the door. And then down here, we have an actual ice machine.
Shout out to automatic ice makers.
They are amazing, wonderful things.
They are, and I hope wherever Jamie and Paul are right now, they have an automatic ice maker.
Oh, I sure hope they do.
Do you think they still live in New York City?
Oh, yes.
I don't know, I feel like they might want to move to Connecticut at some point in time.
No, they're definitely New Yorkers.
Maybe Paul came out with like a pretty hip documentary. He made some change, got himself a like maybe a 2-bedroom house in Niantic, Connecticut, maybe.
At the very least, they could get a 2-bedroom apartment.
Well, they would have needed one eventually for Mabel when she got a little bit older.
Yeah, but by the end of the series, they still don't have a bedroom for her.
Well, Mabel was still like 2 at that point when the series ended. And then she grew up to be Janine Garofalo.
That's true.
it didn't, in an episode or two ago, we revealed that I am Janine Garofalo.
You feel a kinship to Janine Garofalo.
I'm Janine Garofalo in The Truth About Cats and Dogs. And maybe Reality Bites. But I'm not Janine Garofalo in her Criminal Minds spinoff that she was in. No way.
Wait, what?
Remember when Janine Garofalo was on that Criminal Minds spinoff?
No? What?
Yeah, it was Criminal Minds Suspect Behavior.
Wow. I didn't know that. I kind of just stopped paying attention to her a while ago.
Janine Garofalo ran out of her Reality Bites money and she needed to eat. So she had to fucking subject herself to a Criminal Minds spinoff, which only lasted one season, I think. Do you know who else was on that show with her?
Who?
Forrest Whitaker.
Wow.
So, on the streets of San Fran, a team of the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit used profiling to catch some of the most horrific serial killers and unidentified subjects.
Wow, wow, wow.
So, damn Gina. Alright, so things go sour for the Buchmans.
Yeah, Paul has to go buy ice, and then he has to buy a vegetarian lasagna for the sister because she's decided she's a vegetarian right now.
Lisa, right?
Yes, Lisa the sister. She is a neurotic mess throughout the entire series.
Do you know what she came across as to me? A poor woman's Winona Ryder.
Not really.
Winona Ryder early 90s vibes to me for some reason. She's trying to be Winona Ryder in the early 90s. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I have to reanalyze this. I did watch this last night at 2 in the morning when I was half asleep.
Oh, Patrick.
I think, alright. So, we got a question today from our friend Steven, former guest on the podcast. He asked us if there was ever anything that we've watched and done for the podcast that we were not prepared for.
Yeah.
That is this with me. This episode right here is it. Because I watched it at 2 a.m. I was half asleep. I didn't take that many notes. I'm just kind of going into this by memory, so deal with it.
I mean, I've seen this episode a dozen or so times. But, I watched it this morning just to, watch it through, and I didn't take notes. And then I had to watch my nephew all day. And then I, got to watch it again and took really quick notes. And I kind of, gave up halfway through. I was like, ah.
And I am a Mad About You fan, but I'm not a wild and out Mad About You fan.
You mean your DVR isn't set to record it every morning off FXX?
It would, but I don't have a DVR. But I do sometimes watch it on Crackle, which is bootleg Netflix is Crackle.
Is it a step up or down from Hulu?
Oh, it's 4 notches below from Hulu. Hulu is Beverly Hills compared to Crackle. Crackle is like Compton.
You know what's really bad is Flixster.
I haven't even gone into Flixster. Is Flixster like Flint, Michigan? They get shitty water.
It's you can watch movies, but you get commercials every 10 minutes.
I think I tried to watch Drive, the Ryan Gosling movie on Crackle, and it was every 5 minutes it would cut to a 3-minute commercial, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I just want to watch this goddamn movie, fucking Crackle, and the video quality is not even that good. It's like this Google Hangouts video quality.
Thanks for letting us make video calls, Google Hangouts.
Alright, so there's chaos in the Buchman house. Paul has to make a vegetarian lasagna. He's like, I'm gonna go downstairs and buy a vegetarian lasagna, but...
Well, he doesn't have to make one. He has to buy one, and he has to get Brussels sprouts and chutney.
Is he... I was confused by this. Is he going to actually buy an already made vegetarian lasagna, or is he just buying the ingredients?
Yeah, like a Stouffer's kind of thing.
Okay, so it's in the frozen food section?
Yeah, he's just picking something up so Lisa will shut the F up.
She could probably eat the stuffing. I don't think there's any meat in stuffing.
Unless it's a sausage or an oyster stuffing.
Yeah, if it's a stovetop box shit, it's probably okay. Or she could have squash with potatoes. She could have had...
Yeah, because there's squash, there's potatoes, there's 2 kinds of potatoes. Because Sylvia has to come and bring her own, and she says Jamie can freeze hers.
The in-laws were bringing food galore. They were super judgy, super cunty.
For Jamie, yeah.
It was a stressful... I was stressed out for Helen Hunt in this.
See, that's what Thanksgiving is, though. You get stressed because people are bringing stuff that they didn't say they were going to bring, or they're trying to bring something else. That's why you have everybody, sign up, say exactly what they're bringing, and you keep track of it. So you don't end up with, 5 pies and no, mashed potatoes. Okay, so going back to that season 1 episode I mentioned earlier, Paul's mother FedEx Thanksgiving food to Jamie's parents' house.
Overnight?
Yeah, she, like, sent him turkey and, like, all the stuff she makes, she sent him stuff so that he would have a proper Thanksgiving.
Did they have overnight in the early 90s?
I think they did. I think that's about when it started.
All right. Can I mention that Jamie's dad is played by a different actor than Carol O'Connor in this episode?
Well, so Jamie's mother is played by a different actress than Carol Burnett.
I didn't even pick up on that. I forgot about that.
You're like, how many glasses of wine have you had, Patrick?
2.
So, like, 4.
Yeah, so like 4. So in later episodes, Carol O'Connor portrays Jamie's dad. But in this episode, he's played by John Carlin, who also played Willie on Dark Shadows. And this is great. This is great. So he played Jerry Barr, who is Roseanne's dad, on a 1994 Fox TV movie, Roseanne, an unauthorized biography.
Yeah, I'm like, where do you think I'm going right now?
We have to find this because I already looked this up. I haven't found it yet, but we are going to find it. A Variety review from 1994 reminds the viewers to set their VCRs because this one is a keeper. That's all I have to say.
You know what? I wonder if I watched this, because I remember watching some movie.
Roseanne was portrayed by actress Denny Dillon, who is best known for pretty much nothing else. Majorly notable in Women in Prison, which was that like first year Fox sitcom. That's about all I recognized her from. I think she did like voice work and something too. Maybe like Justice League. But we definitely have to find Roseanne the unauthorized biography because if Variety says that it's a keeper.
Yeah, I can, however, find the unauthorized story of Mork and Mindy and of Three's Company.
Which we will do both of those next year. We promise. At least Three's Company.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Alright, so the turkey at the Buchman's house pretty much gets eaten by Murray the dog.
Yeah, so while they're dealing with all the, like, requests about the side dishes and the vegetable lasagna and the ice, and the parents just being their ridiculous, crazy selves, you know, the turkey gets done and they put it out because you gotta let it cool and, like, set for, like, 30 minutes or so before you carve it. And they put it on the island, and Murray jumps up onto the island and eats the turkey.
They try to put it back together because I guess he only ate parts of it.
Yeah, you know, they try to salvage it, but...
So they're gonna serve turkey that's been slobbered all over by an animal.
They're desperate!
They are desperate. I mean, I don't blame them. I probably would have done the same thing.
Trust me, it sucks when a dog, like, jumps up on the table and eats all the food, because I had to go clean that up the other week with my dog.
So the Buchmans decide that they're going to try to rebuild this turkey. They fail at it horribly.
They realize it's not worth it. There's nothing, it's not like he just pulled off a leg.
No, he pretty much got into it, ate the stuffing, and they're trying to, like, flap it back together. They can't do it. It's noticeable. So they realize they're going to have to go back down to the bodega and get a new turkey, which conveniently is already cooked.
Yeah, well, I think that's, like, the thing. This guy's like, you need a turkey? I got turkeys.
Paul has to go back down to get it, but Jamie does not want the family members to know that the turkey has been destroyed by the dog.
Well, yeah, because she's got her judgy mother, and then she's got her judgy mother-in-law.
So Paul sneaks down, he grabs a turkey, but there's a catch. He has to go through the front door, go through the living room to get to the kitchen. So they're trying to do these weird distraction things, so everyone will look the other way. But Paul decides that he's going to put the turkey down in the hallway first, go into the living room and, like, kind of scope things out.
Yeah, so that he knows it's, like, clear to bring in the turkey.
So as soon as the coast is clear, he goes back out to get the turkey, but guess what? It's New York City. Someone stole it.
You don't leave a turkey in a hallway in New York City. You don't leave anything in your hallway, let's be real.
You don't. You really don't.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't even leave anything out in the hallway of my apartment in Minnesota.
So they have to go back down to the bodega. This time, I think, doesn't Ira go this time?
No. Okay, first Paul goes, then Jamie goes. And then Jamie comes up, and she's like, everybody's distracted enough that she gets into the apartment, because they're in the bedroom, or the kitchen, and she's got the turkey. Aunt Lolly's on the couch. She's got, like, headphones on, like, connected to the TV, to watch the parade for, like, probably the 5th time. And for some reason, the window is open, even though it's November in New York City. And Jamie panics and throws the turkey out the window when everybody comes in the room.
Well, she probably could have seriously injured or killed someone that was, like, walking on the sidewalk below.
Yeah, I feel like You might hear like some car noise in the background if you listen closely.
So now, is this when Ira has to go down to the store?
Yeah, so next up, Ira and Fran go. And they're like, just put it on the Buchman's account. They're good for it.
Then they decide they're going to go to the apartment above the Buchmans, and they're going to lower their turkey from this like fishing hook line.
Yeah, which honestly, that's actually not a bad plan, except there's one problem. Sylvia, Paul's mother, comes into the kitchen, and she's right in front of the window. And as soon as she leaves, Paul and Jamie go to get the turkey because it's hanging right behind her. And Ira and Fran let the rope go, and they miss it, and plop.
This is like WKRP in Cincinnati all over again.
Except these turkeys are dead and cooked. They are not live turkeys.
This is the Buchman turkey drop. Shout out to WKRP.
Our very first episode.
Yes. Listen to it on iTunes right now. Stop this episode, go back, listen to that episode, and then resume this one.
And then, so they're like, oh, we lost another turkey. So they go down. They don't even have to talk to the guy at the store. He just hands it to him. He's like, it's on the house.
Yeah, I love that he probably already had another one lined up. How many turkeys do you think he had prepared for this day? Like, did he expect a lot of turkey business this day?
I think maybe he kind of expects, like, a couple of these kind of incidents.
I'm guessing there's probably a lot of newlyweds in New York City, a lot of first-time Thanksgivingers.
This is, like, his day. He's like, I know I'm going to have these turkeys, and these people are going to come and get them, and I'm going to make some bank.
Yeah, this is like his Black Friday.
So they go, they get the other turkey. And while they were down there, it finally, like, word finally spreads what happened. That Murray ate the original turkey, and they haven't been able to get a turkey into the apartment without everybody almost catching them.
So every time one of these disasters happen, another person finds out. So it's basically down to everyone but Aunt Lolly that doesn't know what's going on.
No, Sylvia has no clue what's going. Sylvia's the last to know. I think anybody who actually figured out what was going on, it was probably Aunt Lolly. Because nobody's really talking to her. She's just watching what's going on. She's like, they're coming, they're going. So yeah, Sylvia finally finds out. And, she sees that they're coming in. And Sylvia creates the fake distraction. She's like, oh, there's Ira on the TV. So everybody pretends to gather around this little TV to attempt to see Ira.
So Ira was supposed to perform on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but he got bumped by Sherry Lewis.
And Lamb Chop.
And there's a joke about a hand being stuffed up a lamb's ass, too. Can we just throw that in there?
Yes, that there is.
Some nice 8 p.m. humor. So in the last episode that we did, Saved by the Bell, there's a joke about a turkey thermometer being shoved up an ass.
Well, what a difference a year makes. Because that episode is 93, this is 94.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so, they get to pretend that this is the turkey that Jamie cooked. Everybody gathers around as they carve the turkey. And of course, in the kitchen, there's Murray up on the kitchen island, presumably eating the desserts.
Gotta love Murray. Alright, so one thing I wanted to bring up, and this is the funniest joke to me in the episode, and I don't know why. It's not even a joke. But Paul Reiser mentions he thinks the only reason that people like cranberry sauce on a can because of the noise it makes when it comes out of the can.
Oh, yeah, because his dad brings it up. He's like, gotta come from a can. It's gotta make that...
Which, it is a satisfying noise, I'm not gonna lie.
Pop, 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 pop.
So that is Giblets from Murray in a nutshell.
It's a fun little episode. It's kind of like real Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's okay. There's definitely better episodes than Mad About You, but... This one's okay. There's a lot of old people in this episode.
You and your anti-old people agenda.
And I'm not, but there's just a lot of old people in it, and they were complaining about change.
You mean the way we complain about millennials?
But I'm okay with change. I'm not okay with millennials not knowing about things like Aaliyah, or like who the Gin Blossoms are.
If you don't know who the Gin Blossoms are, I cannot be your friend because the Gin Blossoms freaking rule.
Because when I was a child, I had to know like what Welcome Back Kotter was, and what the Carol Burnett Show was, and what Mary Tyler Moore was. And these goddamn millennials aren't putting any effort into it. That's why we started the podcast. Because we wanted to create encyclopedia for millennials. Because I think we have some young listeners, I believe. We have a few, I think.
Who knows? Nobody tells us they're listening except for my 3 friends.
No, we have gotten some tweets lately. So
yes, actually, who tweets us a lot is the advertising one. Amazing advertising.
Oh, Amazing Advertising. Shout out to Amazing Advertising. He tweeted us because when we were doing the Golden Girls episode, we were saying the name of Lyle Wagner, and it would creep him out because he would hear the name Lyle, and he thought that we were talking to him. So, if you are listening to this, now we are talking to you.
What is up, Amazing Advertising? Because he tweeted us like 41 minutes ago. I don't understand this tweet. Were you tweeting with him about somebody named Brian G?
Brian Austin Green.
Oh, Bag. Okay. Why say Brian G, not Bag, dude? Come on.
All right. So what are we doing? What are we doing next week?
I honestly don't know.
We are gonna teach the millennials about what life was like to be a woman in the working force in the 70s.
Yay!
Because we are doing the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yay!
We are not doing the first episode of Mary Tyler Moore. We are doing the second episode of Mary Tyler Moore. So join us next week when we do Season 1, Episode 2 of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And as always...
Bye!
Seacrest, out!